Hello and welcome to another watch review video. Today I'm discussing the Seiko SARB035 from the SARB collection, which is very well known for the cocktail time watches. This one is not the cocktail time. This one is, as mentioned, the SARB035, which is a Japanese domestic market watch, GDM, although you can pick these now up from Amazon or eBay around £380 new. Obviously, if you are lucky, you can make a deal and you can probably pick it up for less than that. So what are you getting for this amount of money? Well, you are getting an automatic 23 jewels movement that boosts 50 hours bar reserve. It also has a display case back. Probably this way you can see it better. And it's a very nice movement, I must say, although it doesn't have really finishing over it. It does have some finishing. I'm trying to catch it in the light. Probably this way better. It has some finishing on the rotor, which is a really nice touch, I must say. It has a 6R15 movement that has a hacking second, a very nice feature. This way you can accurately set the time to a known reference time. Just hack the seconds like this, and now the movement has stopped. Opa. Yeah, now the movement has stopped. Indeed. So it's not. And if I just press it back, it has started again. There it is. Alright. It has two positions. It does not have a screw down crown, so you can wind it like so. In the first position you have a quick set date function, which is really handy with any watch that has a date window. And in the second position, as mentioned, you can hack the second and set the time. It has a 100-meter water resistance, despite the fact that it doesn't have a screw-down crown, which I think is remarkable. It's a really nice feature. So this watch actually can be called a sports watch, although if you look at it, obviously it's much more on the dressier side. The dial itself is advertised as a champagne color dial in the metal, so when you are handling it, it's rather on the yellow side, probably a yellow cream color. But it's actually exceptional. I think it's a very nice watch to look at. This color is, I think, is just really nice. And actually, currently I'm drawn towards more the lighter colors on dials. So probably that's why personally I prefer this dial. It has a 38mm case size, which is kind of perfect for an everyday use. I have an 18cm wrist, and it sits really comfortably on my wrist. I think it has a real nice presence on the wrist. It wears really well, and it's just a pleasure to look at. I probably would prefer if it would be 39mm, but come on, it's a watch below 400 pounds and it's a Japanese watch from Seiko, so it would be a bit smaller by default. Grand Seiko's 9F quartz movement watches come in 37mm. Just as a comparison, if you are thinking about those watches to buy, then those would be a little bit on the smaller side as well. The case has some brushed and polished finishes contrasting, and it looks like as if it would be made out of different layers of metal. So they are achieving that by the way of polishing and brushing the different surfaces. It is exquisite, I must say. I mean, not just for the price point, but in general, I think this case is just gorgeous to look at, to feel. It ventilates here, it lets some air through, it sits very nicely, it sits taller on the wrist this way, which is not a problem because it's not a big watch, so it still slides underneath the cuff very comfortably and easily. And it's so much going on in this case, really. I just can't get enough of it. I have been handling it for a few days. This is not my watch. It has been used by one of my friends. He's thinking of selling it, and I told him, well, why don't you just lend it to me so I can make a review, because I think it's worth a review very much so. The hands and the markers on the dial are very nicely made. They are perfectly aligned, and the printing is aligned as well, which is rather nice. The hands are polished, they catch the light really well. It's a pleasure to look at them. I think they are much better quality than one would expect for this price point. Having said that, I think this can compete with some of the Swiss brands who are retailing their entry-level watches around 1,200 pounds easily. The movement itself promises you a 25 plus seconds a day or minus 14 seconds a day. Many people report much better readings than that. But I think it's fair. I think it's a perfectly normal and can be accepted for the amount of money and being an automatic wind movement which doesn't have a cost certification. And as mentioned, it doesn't have much finish into it, so I don't know how much regulation is going on these. But it has the Seiko quality, and it does have an international warranty, and you can easily get it serviced would the need arise. What does leave some desire, something to desire behind is the bracelet, as in most cases with Seiko, I must say. The SBDC007, the Shogun, which I used to own, that bracelet was also unremarkable. I mean, for the price point, what you are getting is a well-made bracelet that is secure. It doesn't have screw-in pushers, but you have to push these things, which can be a pain. I have sized this watch before, and it was really, really, really difficult. Sometimes it's easier, I mean, depends. But yeah, I prefer obviously screws. It has solid end link, and each and every of the pieces is solid, and as you can see, they are all removable, which makes it easier would you want to clean it properly, thoroughly at one point. It is a bit wobbly, actually, so it's quite a big tolerances. And my personal gripe is with the clasp. Some people say that these are actually rather well made. I don't disagree. I think they are well made for the price, but what I do not like is that these pushers are far too easy to push in for my taste. I mean, they are secure, you are not going to lose the watch or anything like that, but I would prefer if I would need to apply a bit more pressure, then I would be just a bit more secure wearing this watch. Having said that, I mean, it has a 19 millimeter. I mean, if you have a 19 millimeter strap, you can put it on. And there are a lot of retailers online, especially where you can buy 19 millimeter wide straps, leather straps, and I think it would look absolutely gorgeous on a brown cream leather strap. It would add another dimension to the watch, I believe. However, if you look for an all day, everyday watch that you can wear for pretty much every occasion, and you can wear it on the weekend as well, or if you go to the pool, then with the 100mm water resistance and the stainless steel bracelet, this is probably a perfect everyday watch as well. For me personally, I would say this is much more on the dressier side, but I can see it as an everyday only watch for someone who likes quality but doesn't want to spend or cannot spend too much money on a Swiss brand or even a Grand Seiko for that matter. Talking about Grand Seiko, so I think with Seiko and Grand Seiko the case is something that has to be admired. I really can't get enough of this case. I think this is just absolutely brilliantly made. Just from this angle, let's take another look. Yeah, I was wearing it for a day or so, and I couldn't really tell the time, because every time I looked at it, I ended up staring at the case, which I think is a positive thing. One thing I would like to mention, if some of you maybe have noticed, that the Nomos Tangente has been released last year to mark 100 years of Bauhaus, and there was a limited collection of Tangente watches, and one of the limited series had a similar dial. And nobody does color in the business as Nomos do, so I think this is a big compliment towards a 400 pounds or less than 400 pounds watch, that it does do a very, very beautiful color on the dial, just like Nomos did to mark 100 years of Bauhaus. You can look it up, Google it, the images, and I think it's very much the same color on this one for much less money. If you are someone like me who looks for these color combinations and seeks them out. As always, if you have any questions, comments, please leave those in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. Have a really good day. Bye for now.